Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a new episode of Far Off Films. I am Luca from Bottoms High School. Okay,
Bottoms High School.
I'm part of that. I'm from Bottoms High School. One of the gays. Who else have I joined with here today?
I'm Jeff from the channel The Walrus Man.
And I'm Captain Jack
Jack
Aubrey
Sparrow?
from Jack Aubrey. Yeah, Jack Sparrow
Pirates
from
2?
Jack. Yeah, from Pirates Jong-un Productions. Yeah, so yeah,
From
so
Pirates of the Caribbean
yeah,
to Dead Man's Chest, aka the best sequel of all time?
the best movie of all time. Yeah, of course.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Just had to
so
clarify.
Yeah.
yeah, you heard
Me
it
and
from
Luca
me. You
just
heard
have
it
to
from
make
it.
sure.
You heard it come out of my mouth. Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest is 100% definitely the best sequel ever made.
Yep.
So
Yes, it
Mhm.
is. Thank you, Timmy.
Yes, it
yeah,
is.
you can quote me.
Fuck
Yeah,
you,
you can
Godfather
quote.
2.
You can quote me on that. Yeah, better than
Dude,
Godfather
honestly,
2, better than
let's be
Spider-Man
real. It
2.
genuinely
All of
is better
them.
than
So
Godfather 2.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
Francis, I
Like-
love you. You made Apocalypse Now, but you ain't beating Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest.
Yeah, like...
I feel like I can't even be mad about that because I also have not seen The Godfather Part 2 in like a fucking forever.
I thought
Like
you
I
were gonna say
haven't
you
seen
hadn't
it
seen
since
it
I
at
was like
all.
18. No, I have seen it.
good.
I've never seen Part 3 because I just refuse because I don't wanna. So,
You should watch
um,
the new
or-
cut, because apparently that's an improvement.
and I mean, but if it's like already such a piece of shit, like I don't know how you could possibly improve on something where everyone
That's
is
why
just
it's a
kind of out of it
director's
at that
cut.
point. I guess that's fair. Yeah, it's not even called Godfather Part 3. It's called like something
The God
something
Coda.
coda of the Michael Corleone dying, some shit like that. I don't
Because
know.
it's a coda
So-
to the parts 1 and 2, like he originally intended.
I mean, but I feel like by that logic, like the film
Okay,
is
oh
kind
my
of just
god, there's a
devalued
giant
anyway.
fucking
So.
nerd emoji on screen right now. Holy shit. Anyways,
Okay.
The Godfather.
It's literally like you guys are literally
Barbie.
like that scene in
I feel like
Barbie,
that-
and I'm just
in
sitting there like,
Barbie,
oh
yeah,
my
I was
god.
Have you never seen The Godfather? Oh man, I gotta
You've never seen Dead
mansplain you
Man's
the entire
Chest?
movie.
What, babe? You have not seen Dead Man's Chest? Okay, well.
You've not seen the
fine.
wheel fight? We gotta sit down and watch that right now.
What the hell's the wheel fight?
What do you mean? What's the wheel?
What the fuck are you
fight?
talking about?
Okay,
The-
I'm just
the-
gonna let
the
that
Jack-
figure you out. I'm gonna let you figure it out for yourself.
Yeah,
because,
yeah. Luca, he's not
Okay.
good enough. for us.
Yeah, no,
We
not
just
even
enjoy
gonna
it
to
ourselves.
explain.
Anyway.
you mean the wheel fight from Dead Man's Chest? Okay,
What the fuck do you think
I
we're
thought you were
talking
talking about
about?
something.
We said the
I
wheel
have no
fight from
idea.
Dead Man's Chest.
That could be applicable to like literally any other thing. I don't know. I'm sorry, Jesus. It's 6:45 right here. Give me a fucking break. I'm so tired and my brain's fried. So, I didn't know if this was like some fucking spin-off of Wheel of Fortune. Okay, Jesus. So,
Yeah.
so,
Anyway.
but anyway, yeah, Jules, what dumb new shit has
Oh yeah,
happened
I
this
found
time?
something very funny. I've seen no one talking about this today.
Okay, yeah, but can we please just talk
Uh-huh.
about how the strike is done? Thank fuck.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
As of
yeah,
2
I
days
guess
ago,
we should.
the
I guess we
Hell
should
yeah.
writer's
mention
strike
that.
is
Yeah.
done. It officially finished today.
Love you all.
As of the recording, the strike has officially, officially been over. And I actually took a glimpse on some of the actual things that
Yeah, they got some
that
good
got
stuff.
written to pen and paper. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, yeah, they got a pay increase, which I think these writers definitely deserve, considering, the state of the fucking economy these days. They got to get some regulations in terms of like how AI works and how that's incorporated into the writing process and whether they have to use it. There's like a mandate on how many fucking writers can be on writers' rooms for shows, and then they'll now officially start getting, the pay that they deserve based on residuals on like streaming services and stuff, so they get access to like streaming data. I mean, if you want to like see like the very explicit details of all this shit, just go to the WGA website. I'm sure it'll give you all the answers that you've ever dreamed of. But yeah, I'm very very happy with this. I think I the thing that I'm just so mad about though is that the producers and the
Took this
bigwig
long.
studio heads could have just avoided all of this if they just did this from the beginning and
This
stopped
writer's
being
strike could have
fucking
lasted
babies.
like
But
2 days. But they extended it out to 148 days.
for literally no reason. Because they wanted to be greedy fucking babies, because they literally were complaining about, no, if we do everything that the writers say.
Unrealistic expectations. This would take like 0.6% of our yearly expenses.
We need the 0.67% to buy our fucking 600 yacht. No, shut the fuck up. Like, Jesus, they weren't asking for much. They were just asking for, like, the bare fucking minimum to make a living as
If
a
anything,
writer.
they were asking for less than they deserve.
Exactly, yeah. And you guys still decided to be fucking babies and drag this out for fucking forever, thereby taking both your industries and just the overall film economy in general. So I hope it was fucking worth it, you assholes.
And they're still doing it with the actors.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's this whole like Hollywood strike is not even over because the actors.
Hopefully this can kind of become like the template so that we can just kind of speed this along a little bit, and the actors can, get their share as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I mean, like, but they also like announced that they would be
progress is being made.
Yeah, but they also announced they would be striking against like the video game industry. So I don't know like how that will affect the whole thing and shit. So, but
yeah, true.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully.
I'm waiting for the Marvel visual effects to go on strike. That should be happening very soon.
I think they already are on strike, right? The Marvel visual effects team.
They're voting at the moment, or they're only just unionized. So
okay, gotcha.
That should happen.
Yeah,
it should be very funny.
Honestly, I'm fucking very happy that we're living in this era of strikes because, the last time this shit happened, this was like during the Gilded Age of America or something like that. I guess not the Gilded Age, the progressive. I don't know. It's been a long time since I took U.S. history, but yeah, this was like the last time shit like this happened. The
only history you did.
That's not true. Come on. I also took world history, and by world history, I mean like
world history of Britain,
world history,
and Europe.
Yeah, world history of Europe, and then sometimes China and India. So, yeah.
Did you do world history of Australia? I don't think so.
Yeah, because Australia doesn't fucking matter. Like it was just an afterthought in world history. So.
Oh, bro.
Yeah. So.
Damn, absolutely.
We went through genocides.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, like, I think everyone should just they deserve a decent amount of pay for the dumbass work that they get, yet somehow that is just way out of the line and that is impossible to afford from people who make like what, $300 million per year? Like, shut the fuck up. Just pay your workers. Like, if you want to boost morality, if you want to boost the quality of the movies, then just pay the fucking workers what they owe, and then let's just move on with our lives. Like, the only people who are making this a bigger deal than it needs to be are the fucking producers and studio heads. Like, Jesus, like, grow up. Like, it should have taken, like, at most, like, a couple days for the writer's strike to be over, but they purposely chose to drag it out as long as fucking possible to make these writers homeless, and so that they can act like, these big shots. But no, like, you just had to drag it out, and now movies are suffering because of that, so I hope you're fucking happy. I mean, I'm obviously very happy that the writers...
They slammed their cock on the table and then willingly cut it off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, how stupid can you get? I'm very, very happy that the writers got what they want. They deserve everything that they were fighting for, but at the same time, I am mad that this lasted as long as it did, because people are just fucking dumb and idiotic and immature. Like, Jesus Christ. So, yeah.
I mean, what do you want them to do, Timmy? Like spend like so little money to give them what they deserve and can get the industry like grinding up again, or not grinding up again, like going again.
Oh no, that would be so unreasonable. That would be crazy.
They lose money then.
No, they couldn't buy that new island that
You know how hard that is?
they couldn't buy that new island this
Yeah.
year that they so desperately wanted to purchase.
They couldn't buy Epstein Island.
Yeah, they couldn't recreate Epstein's human trafficking adventures. So
Yeah. That's such a Epstein theme park.
they'd call it Epstein Land or Epstein World. It'd rival Disney World and Universal Studios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Delete this evidence and you get a stuffed bear.
Yeah, if you
Whoever can scribble the names off the flight logs the fastest gets a prize.
whoever gets accused the fastest of human trafficking and then gets the most like life sentences, they get an extra raffle in the wheel of prizes. So,
Figure out how to disable the security cameras and we'll give you another prize.
yeah, all those Jeffrey Epstein type rich people, come to us. We'll build a theme park just for
we'll
you.
make you a sick ass theme park.
Yeah. So
Dodge the FBI, dodge 'em cars.
yeah, exactly. So we'll make it as big as the
Anyway.
Fire Festival. So, but yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Exactly.
The point is, I'm very happy that the writers got what they wanted. I'm very happy that the writers can now go back to work and be successful in their endeavors and write excellent scripts like Rise of Skywalker and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. So
Yep. And hopefully they can also make great scripts like After Sun.
yeah. So
They will.
yeah, they will.
They will.
Yeah.
They're out there.
Charlotte Wells will.
There's beautiful people.
Yeah, I
will.
Awesome, lovely.
I don't know how you guys felt about this, but I remember like some people like in the beginning of the writer's strike were just so being such fucking idiots. They were like, "Why should the writers deserve any compensation?"
Who cares about Hollywood writers?
Yeah, like what movies suck? Did you see Little Mermaid and Star Wars and shit? So it's what? Like, so it's their fault that you didn't go bother seeing like any of the actual good movies with actual well-written scripts that deserve all the money in the world.
Yeah.
Like what?
Hollywood sucks if you're only seeing the bad stuff.
Yeah, like these are just like the same brain dead people who like unironically like Critical Drinker and think like Hollywood is now bad because of wokeness. Like, shut the fuck up, like Jesus. So
Wait, does Critical Drinker not support the writers' strike?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't. So
Yeah, probably. I don't even have to look that up, and I know he probably doesn't support it.
yeah. So
Do you guys see that one actor who was like, "This strike is so dumb and so idiotic, I can't promote my projects." His project that he was trying to promote got canceled.
yeah, wasn't the guy who played like Arrow or something on CW's Arrow? Was that the
Yeah,
guy?
yeah, I forget his name.
That guy.
The CW guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he got his show cancelled, so get what you deserve, fucking scab.
He was like, "Oh, strikes are such a shit way of
Yeah, I know.
of sending a message or whatever he said," and it's like,
Well,
dude, you're
there's your
fucking
message.
dumb.
I was like, boy, have you not taken a history class
have not.
ever?
You have not spread a message since you said you have failed this city, and then never popped up like in anything of note ever again.
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
Since you were in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows.
Yeah, as cringe Casey Jones. Yes. So yeah.
Wow, a role to remember for the ages.
Yeah, I remember that was his catchphrase in
definitely.
Arrow, that you have failed this city. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't seen Arrow.
That's an old meme though. Do you know about that, Jules, or not?
I know it. I remember.
Okay, you do know.
City.
I just know it from the show because I haven't seen the show since I was like 13, and I just stopped watching it because I was like, I think I'm too old for this shit. Like, and I was 13 when I said that. Yeah. So, like, Yeah, I mean, but apparently the Arrowverse, like, which is what they're calling it, is still going on, you know, because they're still making the Flash and
Really?
Supergirl and all this other shit. Like,
I thought the Flash
Nah,
ended.
Flash is
oh, the
done.
Flash is
Yeah, Flash
done.
is done.
Okay, well, it went on for so fucking long.
I thought
Like,
Supergirl
That
was
was the
done as
one I
well.
used to watch. I used to watch the Flash a lot when I was smaller.
I couldn't make it past like season 2. Like, that's when
Is
I
that the
dropped.
one? Is that the one where with Gorilla Grodd in it?
That's the one with every Flash
That's with
villain in the
all
planet
the
in
Flash
it.
villains. Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll have to be more specific.
No, that's
Yeah.
the one where
There is Gorilla Grodd.
Grodd tries to kill Barack Obama.
What the fuck are you talking about? What's it?
Yeah, what?
I'm not. You haven't seen that video from?
No. I gotta look this up now.
I'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But yeah, yeah, I mean, but that's all I have to say, honestly, about the writer's strike. Like, I'm very, very happy that they got, you know, but that they finally got their demands met. I'm finally happy that, you know, they got work, finally got everything. I'm very happy. I couldn't be more mad.
All
This looks
extremely well deserved.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, so, but yeah, well, anyway,
I actually
Jules-
remember this clip, Jules. That's funny.
We've never seen this before. I'm gonna like watch this later. So, yeah. But anyway, Jules, what was the thing that you were gonna mention before?
Oh
we brought up the
yeah,
writer's
I'll only
strike?
mention
Yeah.
this briefly because I think it's
Okay.
funny. The you guys know the Golden Globes, the
Sure.
extremely relevant award show.
Yeah, the most important
They-
award show in the world. Yeah,
They
I'm
added
aware.
they added a category. They just announced this today. They're adding a category for best cinematic box office achievement.
Jesus Christ! Isn't this
my
just the
God.
most?
So the
Isn't this
so
just
it's
the
just
most
like-
popular movie award for
Yeah,
like the Oscars
this is what
when
the
they tried
Oscars
that
tried to
shit?
do.
Yeah.
yeah, but these are
they're like
actually going through with
unironically,
it.
they're actually like unironically going through with it. I think that's fucking
I
hilarious.
know.
So
But the
That's
funny thing is, it's blockbusters that are both the highest earning that also deliver creative excellence. If they deliver creative excellence, then they can be nominated for whatever the Golden Globe version of Best Picture is. Probably just
Yeah.
Best Picture, but
It-
like if they display
Exactly.
creative excellence, they don't need their own category. They can just be nominated with like all of the best other stuff that displays creative excellence.
yeah, exactly.
so
Like by this
fucking
logic,
dumb.
yeah, like like when Avatar 2 got nominated for a bunch of fucking awards, like it wasn't because it made like 200 million bajillion dollars. It was because like it was like a well-made movie according to like a lot of
Yeah.
people who saw it. You know, like this is so fucking stupid. Like they only made this so that they can like get normies to watch to see which dumbass movie is
they're
going to win
this
the
is
award. But
begging for people to watch the Golden Globes. Like,
like
no one
gives a shit.
I've never watched
No
the Golden
one
Globes in my
cares.
life.
Exactly. Like I barely care about the Oscars anyway, so this means literally
The one
like next to
time-
nothing.
The only time I ever watched the Golden Globes was when we
Was
were
when Ricky
bored in
Gervais.
maths class. And because of Ricky. So my maths teacher was like, "Oh, let's pull up the Golden Globes because of Ricky Gervais. Like, it
Because
should
why
be funny
not?
watching him roast all these people." And it was funny him watching
It was
him
because he roasts a
everyone.
bunch of celebrities.
Yeah. But
Like
yeah.
you know, Ricky Gervais might be an asshole, but you know, man, those roasts are
He's
funny as
funny
fuck.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's good in he
so-
may be an asshole, but he's good in The Muppets Most Wanted.
He may be an asshole, but he's good at it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. He's good at
Yeah.
being an asshole.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
I'm
making
very
shitty TV
excited.
like After.
Isn't that the show where he just goes around about how awesome he is because he's an atheist or some shit? Like, or am I thinking of
That's the one
another?
where so the drama where he wanted to kill himself in the first season, but then he didn't, and then they made 3 more seasons. And it was really great in the first season, but then it fell off super hard, and it was
Doesn't that
awful.
I feel like that defeats the whole purpose of a premise like that, but you know, whatever. So,
It was it called
Um,
After? I forget. I
yeah,
remember.
so Well, I can't wait for the Meg 2 to be nominated for a Golden Globe then, because I guess that's possible now. So,
I was
Well, I mean,
Afterlife.
if it's just an excuse to give an award to Barbie, then hell yeah, like.
but I
Yeah,
feel
but,
like Barbie will be
But
nominated
like
anyway.
it's such a stupid award, but yeah, I don't know if I think like the Golden Globes is like quite similar to like the Best Picture nominations, you know, which I
well, they all are, and
doubt
all
Barbie
award
will
shows are in
get.
some way or another.
But
No,
yeah,
but it'll
yeah.
probably be nominated for like a best comedy or musical, whatever the fuck category
Oh,
for
that's
the Golden Globes
true. That's
anyway.
They
Yeah,
do
true. I
so
they
forgot
do the
about.
best comedy and musical, and then they also do best like
Oh,
drama.
so I get yeah. So
yeah.
this one's just gonna be best overall. I guess they're just adding another category to that, but then
Best
they can overlap
blockbuster,
maybe.
basically.
Yeah, best
Yeah.
dankest movie that made a
They're
dank
clearly
ton of
trying to
movie.
do this because fucking Barbie and Oppenheimer were so like successful. So they're like, oh, what made it successful? Like the Barbie versus Oppenheimer kind of thing, the Barbenheimer meme. So we need to put them together in this event so people tune in and
Okay.
they see which one wins.
So
That's probably one of the main reasons why they're fucking doing this thing, honestly.
that
Like,
is so stupid. I never thought about it
yeah.
like that, but
But
now that I
yeah,
think
it's
about it, yeah, that is
That yeah, you
so
know that's
dumb.
why they did it.
Yeah.
you can tell.
hmm Yeah, I know for sure Oppenheimer's getting a Best Picture nomination, but I really hope
Yo, yeah,
Barbie
yeah.
gets a. I really hope Barbie gets a Best Picture Oscar nomination as well, because
I
I
think it
think
will.
I think it
I think
will.
it
unfortunately.
will, honestly.
Like all those popular movies get nominated. Like remember when Black Panther got nominated for Best Picture? Like they do this shit all the time. They're gonna do it. Yeah, like that's the same reason why like Joker got so many nominations because it was like the most popular fucking thing since like sliced bread that year. So.
Yeah, I don't know. A weird
Yeah.
part of me thinks it won't get Best Picture, but
I think it
maybe
will.
I'm just being silly
Well,
boy.
You know what? I
yeah,
have a
I bet.
feeling, unless I say some like really like insane shit. I mean, well, like the Marty new Scorsese film will get like Best Picture nominations and everything. But I have a feeling probably, I think I think Nolan might get nominated and he might actually win for Best Director.
Yeah, maybe. So,
Yeah, he might actually, which is sad.
yeah. So, yeah, I can already just predict it as of just like, it's gonna be Nolan, Scorsese, some Zoomer, and then just some other old people nominated for Best Director.
The
So,
new the Leonard Bernstein Tar prequel will probably get nominated.
oh yeah, it
Oh
is gonna be a Tar
yeah.
prequel. Yeah.
The one with
So
the anti-Semitic nose.
Yeah, which apparently the Bernstein family are totally cool with the big ass nose. Apparently that they're fine
I
with
mean,
that. So
it's not really huge, but it's just kind of funny.
yeah, I just like don't really know what I mean. Like, but at the same time, because I know like a lot of people were like complaining about the fact like why didn't they? Because I know Jake Gyllenhaal wanted to make his version of the movie, and he is actually like
Scorsese was
Jewish.
originally meant to direct it.
Oh, Scorsese. I thought Spielberg was like supposed to direct it at some point. Maybe
No,
I'm
it was
thinking
going to
of
be
some.
Scorsese, but then he
Okay.
opted to do The Irishman instead.
Yeah, so, but yeah, I bet, yeah, I just like, I mean, I don't know, if he gives a good performance, it's a good movie, then like, I'm not gonna complain, but it's a matter of like up to you, your choice of whether or not like, Jewish characters should be played by Jewish actors, like should, like, because like I know Oppenheimer like was like a real life like was Jewish, but he was played by Cillian Murphy, who's like not that, so it's like is it okay for non-Jewish people to play Jewish roles? I don't know. That's like up in the air for people. I think as long as a good performance is made, then I don't really give a shit. So, but
Yeah, that's acting.
yeah, it's called acting. That's the point. So, well, yeah, but I mean, either way, I'm not really that excited for fuck, what's it called, Maestro or whatever. Yeah, because I wasn't like the
Maestro.
biggest fan of A Star Is Born. I thought it was like fine. I thought it was like pretty decent. So, if it's gonna be like that, then I guess I'll watch it at some point.
I like
So,
Cara
yeah.
Mulligan.
Carrie Mulligan's always great. Like I don't think I've ever seen her in a bad
Oh yeah,
movie.
she's promising young
Oh,
woman.
boy,
Even then, she
she's
gets like
like the
great
best.
performances consistently.
She's like the only good part of like Promising Young Woman, though. So even in she's in like shit movies, like she's still always like one of the best parts of the film. So it's like when like Frances McDormand was like ran. It's like
Yeah,
when Frances
she's never.
McDormand was randomly in like Transformers 3 or like Madagascar 3. Like yeah, like those are bad movies, but like she she was like great.
Oh no,
She
no.
was great in Transformers
Yeah, she was
3 and
great though.
Madagascar 3. So yeah,
Captain
yeah,
Dubois.
that was
That was
epic.
sick.
So yeah. Hmm. Good. Anyway, speaking of epic, Bottoms, the new movie. Let's talk about it. Yeah. So, what did we think about baby?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't. I thought of a joke, but then I didn't. What did you think about Bottoms? So,
Um, it was very funny.
yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
It's honestly one of the funniest, probably one of the funnier films I've seen this year. Because I was just like, I kind of knew what to expect. I was like, oh, this is gonna be like a raunchy, like sort of like high school like comedy type shit. But I was honestly genuinely surprised how often I was laughing. So like, and so already I was like, hell yeah, this is like pretty epic. Like this is basically what I wanted Booksmart to be, kind of. Because like Booksmart was also kind of like a like raunchy sort of like edgy like high school comedy. It's like whoa, like the high school students are saying the fuck word and like they're doing all this other shit. But this one actually like kind of took its concept and ran with it. Like they did a lot of like wacky wild shit. And so for that, like already this is like basically the better version of Booksmart. Like this was like really a lot of fun and I was just really invested pretty much like throughout most the whole movie. So mhm.
It's true.
Luca, what did you think?
Yeah, Luca, what I'm sure you have thoughts.
Yeah,
So
it's fine. Anyways,
anyway.
next movie.
Anyways,
Yeah.
so,
Anyway.
good movie.
I
Discussion over.
loved this movie, everybody. Bottoms is phenomenal. It is just so funny and humorous and enjoyable and fucking hilarious. And yeah, like Timmy said, it's so odd and wacky, and it leans into the absurdity of its world expertly well. Like holy shit! Like the reason why I was just in love with this movie is because it feels just like those old, classic American comedies, but is aware of the flaws surrounding those films and kind of highlights and pokes fun at them. And it just has like a really solid and unique like direction to it, and like it has its own style and personality. And yeah, it's just a ton of fun. It's like I've never personally been the biggest fan of like that classic shit like American Pie or Mean Girls or
Yeah.
Legally Blonde, like
Super
Super
bad,
bad.
yeah.
like that stuff. Like
Super
they're
bad,
funny,
great,
but I've just really personally not really connected to those movies. And here comes Bottoms, which is one of those movies, but actually found a way to make it like visually appealing and for me to very easily connect to it. And yeah, it is just a joyride. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how just fucking wild it is, and it just accepts that. Like it doesn't provide any fucking excuses for it. There's like just a cage with a wrestler in this weird school, and the schools are in this rivalry, spoilers by the way, like this actual like rivalry to the death. And that is such a fun commentary on like American schools and like how the football leagues are very important, and how like each school is pretty much in like a fucking rivalry. Like they and obviously this film like heightens it, like, it's kind of like a rivalry to the death kind of thing, because that's how seriously a lot of people take it in real life. So there's a lot of fun poke towards like the American schooling system. I love how all the jocks are like always in their fucking
Football
jock
uniforms, yeah.
outfits.
in their
In their
uniforms.
football
Yeah,
gear, yeah. Uh-huh.
yeah, I love the fact that there's only like two teachers in the whole entire school. Like that kind of pokes fun to like those classic high school movies as well. I love like the
Yeah,
Saved
when
by
it's
the
like, where are the
Bell
teachers?
kind of reference, like where Rachel said it's like, wait, was that really it for class? Like because it's
Yeah.
like literally like the class is like fucking like a 10-minute scene, 5-minute scene, so
Yeah, they
you
just
know
don't matter.
that kind of
Yeah.
pokes fun at it.
I
Yeah,
love,
it's
yeah,
like
I love how hyper exaggerated everything is. Like everything is just
yes,
so
yes,
exaggerated to like the max. And it really like, because that's what I also kind of fucking hate about these types of American comedy movies, where it's like they literally stop being funny for like a good chunk of the movie to deliver some serious bullshit story that honestly no one asked for. Like this one kind of did that as well, but like it was like so self-aware and so making fun of itself for like, having these kinds of scenes. The whole like
yeah,
the
definitely.
breaking up scene, the scene where the friends realize that like, oh, they were lying to them, blah blah blah, that sort of thing. Like they were self-aware of these bits. Like they were even making fun of these scenes while also taking those bits kind of seriously as well. Like I love how just like hyper exaggerated everything is. This honestly kind of reminded me of like Anchorman or something, or like one of those earlier like Adam McKay type comedies, except
Good Adam
yeah,
McKay.
but like 100 times funnier, obviously. But like, it's kind of the same thing where it's like movies like Anchorman, or like they're not based in reality. Like everything is hyper exaggerated. Like everyone's a fucking idiot, and like just crazy shit happens. But like this one, like it channels it in a way that it's actually funny and entertaining, and actually like constantly delivers on really entertaining jokes while also never being too like, because my fear was that this film was going to be just like, oh, random shit for like an hour and a half, and like that's it. Like everything felt pretty consistent and felt like felt earned. Like it they the jokes weren't just like dumb shit. Like they were actually cleverly written jokes, and everyone is giving really great performances. It's like it's just a really well made movie that I appreciated. So
Yeah, yeah, I agree with what you said there. It feels weirdly cohesive, like the way all the events like come together. Especially if you like watch the trailer, you're kind of like, okay, where is everything gonna fit into place? But this does feel like a fully fleshed out story where like things are actually moving along smoothly and like a good pace rather than just like a whole bunch of random shit sprouting out of nowhere, like um and yeah, and that like very much works for the film. Yeah, I love that moment where PJ and Josie break up, because like they play like the fucking sappiest pop song, like, and it is so self-aware of what it is, and it's like doing so much storytelling in that scene. And the song choices in this film and like throughout all the scenes I use are just perfect. I love that two, like as they're all like hitting each other and stuff. Like you can feel the impacts of those punches. It's like I thought they got the fucking Raka Raka guys in to do the sound for this movie, because holy shit, like each punch and hit like is filled with like blood and impact. And I love how like actually well directed those fight scenes were, and like how realistic and just like holy shit like it feels, because like when you see and hit them get punched, you're like, ow, fuck, like that looks like genuinely painful,
That
like
damn, that looks like it fucking
yeah,
hurt.
it's
yeah.
not like John Wick or some shit where it's like style, like the action scenes like feel like realistic in the sense that like, oh, it's like this looks like what a bunch of high school girls would look like when they're like fighting someone.
Yeah,
Like it makes sense as to why like the fight scenes are like surprisingly well directed. They're like surprisingly
they
well coordinated.
are.
Like I was honestly kind of shocked they put as much effort as they did into the fight scenes, because in the end like the movie's just like a really like outrageous comedy. Like they didn't have to go that hard for the fight scenes, but the fact that they did made me really appreciate it. So yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's a shot where like the camera like starts at like the gym doors. It zooms in on the fight. You can see it's the two cheerleader girls fighting, and then it fucking flows all the way up to Josie, then pans to PJ, all in one. And it's like, holy shit, guys! Like, this was like such a well directed movie, especially for one of those like high school comedy kind of movies. Like, it did not have to look and feel this stylized and good, but it did.
Yeah.
And that just like elevated it.
She
so
has like
much
an actual
more.
like she has an actual voice as a director.
Yeah, I love
and it's
her.
quite different from like the way Shiver Baby is so like claustrophobically like shot as well,
Mhm.
like
which is quite welcome.
it's very this film like has like
she
a lot
clearly
of,
has like actual chops, like
Yeah.
directing like other
Yeah,
stuff.
the director. How do you pronounce her last name? I don't want to like make any
Emma
Seligman.
Seligman.
Yeah. Emma Seligman like is honestly like a very talented director with like lots of personality. I didn't see Shiva Baby, but honestly, after this film, like I really want to check that out now to just see what the difference is between, how the directing is for that one compared to this. But yeah, just so much personality, just so much interesting shots, so many like really well directed sequences. Like the directing was just fucking fire. Like I was really liking the look of the film. 'Cause it's not like some fucking Christopher Nolan shit or whatever, where it's like, oh, look how visually interesting it is. Like it's about on par for me. Yeah,
It's better than
it's
that.
about on par for me in terms of like the overall quality. But I like how like the film is just bursting with so much personality. For a movie that's just a 90-minute film about girls punching the shit out of each other. Like I think that's like kind of hilarious. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I like that the
also just we haven't mentioned it yet, but just the performances,
Yeah.
the two
Yeah,
leads,
they're
just
awesome. Yeah,
phenomenal.
they're really great.
So great.
Like
Rachel Sennett, she's like one of my favorite new young
dude, Io
actors.
Deburi, oh my fucking god.
And Yo,
like
yep, she's great.
she
She's awesome.
is so good. They have both been killing it recently. Like fantastic
I
up and
know,
coming
yeah.
actors. Like
Mhm.
goddamn.
Very funny too. Yeah, like I saw
so charismatic.
Really, really funny.
because I
And,
saw
yeah,
I saw a couple of their
naturally
like
humorous.
I saw a couple of their sketch videos like for Comedy Central or whatever. Yeah, they're really funny. Very very talented people. So yeah, give them everything. Want
Mm.
them in everything. Give them fucking Marvel movies to appear in. Like fucking do it, Jesus. So yeah.
Make Rachel Sennett appear in a Terrence Malick film.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So
Could you imagine that?
That would be wild.
yeah, that would be crazy. So but
Terrence,
I
if
mean-
you're listening, please do that.
but anything could happen, I didn't know Rachel Sennett was in The Idol, but there you go. I guess anything could happen. So
Was she?
yeah, apparently,
Yeah, she is.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Ugh, yeah.
Did either of you see The Idol, or not to quickly?
No.
No.
Okay, yeah, just
No.
What the fuck would I?
okay, yeah.
No.
Apparently, it's so
Yeah.
fucking horrendous that I just like was kind of interested in seeing it, but not really anymore. So
I saw it's already apparently appearing in lists of worst television programs ever made.
that's
And
hilarious.
it's like barely
Ever
2 months
made.
old.
That's good. That's good.
Mhm,
That
so-
is good.
But anyway, enough about The Idol. The bottoms. That's the thing we're talking about. Yeah, it's fucking
The
awesome.
better thing.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, how similar is this to Fight Club? Like would you guys? Because they kept saying like, "Oh, this is a Fight Club," or because I keep in mind
Not
I've-
similar at all.
Okay, because keep
Yeah,
in mind I've
no.
never seen Fight Club,
Like,
so it's like
in
one of-
no
What the
way other than
fuck?
damn, you call yourself a film fan?
I know,
You've
it's
never seen
crazy.
The
Yeah.
secret movie.
Have you not seen Fight Club?
You would be
bruh?
surprised how the ending still has never been spoiled for me, even though it's like the most pop culturally like relevant fucking thing ever. I've never been spoiled for Fight Club, so I'm like really
Oh,
excited
really?
to check it out for the
I don't
first
think
time.
the ending actually gets the reference that much. It's mainly
Yeah, it's
Fight
not like
Club as a concept.
the Sixth Sense ending, where like that's the thing most people talk about.
I guess
but,
so,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
But either way, it's just like I know Fight Club is like a movie everyone fucking loves, so I just like I feel like I've mentioned this before. I haven't seen Fight Club. I'm pretty sure, right?
Well,
you mentioned it
it's
to me
better
like the
than
other
Fight
day,
Club.
I think, but yeah. David Fincher could never.
Yeah, he could
Yeah,
never.
no, this movie is better than Fight Club. I'll say that.
Okay.
But yeah,
The joke about the David Fincher watch party
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
I love David Fincher.
That was
Yeah.
great.
I love how like that one girl who wants to like kill her stepdad or whatever. I forgot her name, but like she was like, "Oh man,
Hazel.
I love David Fincher." I burst out laughing at that joke. I was like, "That's hilarious."
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, very good jokes like that feel very modern but not cringe. Like just
Yeah, they balance
very
like
good
kind
sense
of.
of comedy.
Yeah.
Comedy, but
I don't want to bring this up again, but like literally this is the better version of Booksmart because like the things that I wanted out of Booksmart is just in this movie, and it just makes me dislike that film even more because that movie has this. It is like it is pretending to have a personality, like it thinks it's profound, it thinks it has like a style that like it's proud of, but it's just so tame and bland, and like this is just like exactly just the much better version of Booksmart. This is what I wanted Booksmart to be, and it's fucking awesome. Like it's well directed, it's well written. The actors are doing a great job. It's like what more could you want from a movie like this? And it's just like it's crazy that this is like this isn't the bar that we should be reaching. Like like this is not like like I hate that this is the exception and not the norm because when I think of like every other like shitty American like teenage like high school comedy like this, it's like they never go as like hard as this, and I really wish more movies like this would go as hard. But whatever. Guess we can't try as much, I guess, these days. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
just
mean, yeah,
really,
this
really
movie,
fun.
yeah.
That's the most I can say about it. It's just really fun. Like,
Yeah, it's so
it's
much
not
fun.
entirely perfect. Like, as much as I, as much as I think the oh we're falling out with each other, that was kind of played like in a self-aware way. I was still kind of annoyed by the fact that it happened. I was like,
Yeah,
you
me
can be
too.
like you can be like a bit more like smart than just like falling into these tropes. I know you're making like self-aware of it, but you're still doing it anyway, which is
Yeah,
just kind
that
of.
would I would say those are my biggest issues because like those moments like the we're breaking up scene and then just the more dramatic moments in general, like I get that they're self-aware, but they're still doing them, and so I still have to suffer through those moments to get through the fun parts again. Like thank God like they like speed run those, so like they're like they don't dwell on those scenes very long because they know like no one gives a shit about these parts, but they have to do it to advance the plot. But still, it's like those sections were like kind of like they kind of grinded the film to a halt for me a little bit, and it's not when like
Yeah.
okay, we're done with that now, let's go back to like the funny parts, let's go back to like the fun parts, is when it's like okay, thank God we're back on track, we're not dwelling on this any longer. So yeah.
Oh no, I love those moments so much. I think they delivered them in such a perfectly sappy way that it's just humorous the whole time. Like, so that's why it didn't really bother me that they were doing a familiar trope, because this whole film is a familiar trope that they're just using their own style and a commentary and tone to adapt. So yeah, all that like classic stuff didn't really bother me at all. I was into it. I thought it was a ton of fun in the ways they presented it, and yeah, like I said, I I love that scene where they break up for the first time, or no, when they break up, the friends, the two main friends, like
Yeah.
it is
Mhm.
so good. Like they got the perfect song, the perfect tone, and it's just such a satisfying montage. And even that montage like conveys some emotion to like the side characters that you didn't really expect to get. Like this film like cares about like everyone on screen, even if it's like small little details about them. Like it still is aware of their existence and uses them well within the story. I like really particularly loved Hazel. I thought she was a great character.
She was
awesome.
awesome.
and,
Yeah.
She was a
Mhm.
great
and like very
character.
relatable. Like everyone
She
has
looked like
the
Amanda
fucking
the Jedi.
autistic friend. No, that's not Hazel.
Oh wait, which one was Hazel again?
Hazel's
Girl
like the
with
manager of the club.
black hair.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
the
my
one who's
bad.
the one who's obsessed with like blowing up shit with bombs and stuff.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
That was amazing.
Mhm.
that was
And
fun.
my God, they didn't have to do this, but I like burst out laughing like at the end credits where they cut to the incel kid that was like, "Damn it, I wanted to blow up the school," or
Yeah,
whatever. And I
yeah,
was like,
that might be my
I
favorite joke in the film.
that caught me off guard, and I was like rolling. I was like, "Holy shit, this is hilarious." So
Yeah, yeah. That's another thing that I really liked about the film, or two things. The first I'll just get out the way quickly. Like yeah, with that incel kid, like they kind of go like pretty like edgy with a lot of the jokes. Like they're not afraid to say slurs and shit either in this film. But just because it is trying to be like one of those raunchy 2000s comedies, and like it just goes for it. And then another thing that kind of ties into that is at the end when they just straight up kill the football players, like just straight up fucking murder them. Like it is in such a heightened like fictional world, but it is so much fun.
yeah, it
Like
truly is like a better version of like Anchorman or like an Adam McKay movie because like I remember like
yeah,
that scene reminded me of like the news anchor fight scene or whatever from Anchorman where like Will Ferrell just goes like Brooke killed the guy. Like murder is just like an afterthought in this film. Like murder and like any other like reasonable dangerous thing is just like either a joke or just like just a thing that goes like whatever, this is America
yeah,
type shit. And I found that so amusing, but also kind of embarrassing in the sense that like, wow, I can't believe these things are just like ignored or just like laughed at as a joke in like American education in the
yeah,
American education system
yeah.
and like American culture. And I just feel so embarrassed about that as an American. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean that is America. You guys get hyped up on your football teams and stuff.
I mean,
Your
they sell
darling
tickets.
quarterbacks.
Yep.
Yeah, the Jock Boys. Yeah, I actually fun fact about myself. I don't know if I've ever said this, but I was actually nominated as a prom king. And one of the
Oh,
contestants for
Oh
prom king.
wow.
No, it wasn't because I wanted to. It was because my friends wanted to make a meme about the fact that I like a nerd could have possibly won prom king, and I was
Oh, shout
competing
outs.
against like the yeah, and I was competing against like the quarterback of the football team and then like some other members of the football team. Some of them I was actually like friendly with, so like I wasn't even like mad that I lost. Not that I wanted to win anyway, but
I
I
thought you
was
were about to
mad
say
when
that they
one of them won.
that they threatened you or something. Like you better not win
No,
prom king.
oh man, I wish that happened just so I could have an interesting story to tell about myself, like in high school. So, but like nothing that sensational happened in my high school life. So, yeah. But yeah, either way, yeah. I love how like okay, but I will back to your point, Luca, about how like you didn't mind like the serious quote unquote scenes. There was one scene that I did actually really like that I was pretty effective. It is when like both both of like the main girls like got to be with their quote unquote crush, and then the first one like goes really well, like they got to have sex and all that shit, blah blah blah. But the second one was just like the cheerleader, the other cheerleader goes like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm straight. Like I didn't mean to like give the wrong impression." And then it's just this like really like not embarrassing, just like really awkward and just really like Rachel Sennett's character just like freaks out. She's like, "Oh God, Jesus! Like I really embarrassed myself," type thing. I really like
yeah,
that sort of
Yeah,
like
that was
kind
great.
of yeah, like break in like because like in any other cliched like American high school comedy like this, like the two characters would have like hooked up with their crush and be like, "Hell yeah, I'm like the baddest bitch in the world," type thing. But I like how like kind of realistic the film was in that sense, where it's like sometimes the our crushes aren't who we think they are. It's like and we just get disappointed because of that. I really liked that serious element of it, and it was like it was like refreshing to see that in a movie where again, as I need to remind everyone, it's a 90-minute film where girls beat the shit out of each other. So yeah, so hmm
yeah. PJ had a Hazel right there, a sweet darling little Hazel, and
Yeah.
couldn't see it for most of the goddamn movie. Like, gosh damn.
yeah, like I love how like all the two main girls are like so insecure. They're like, damn, like everyone's like a six at best at this fight club. Like
Oh
Jesus, so
yeah.
yeah.
Another thing that I loved was that like number one casting like older actors to play high schoolers. Like that was a bit of commentary you could see. And also the fact that they are both insanely pretty and playing like the nerd character in a film. Because like half of the time, like the nerd character
like,
is
"Oh,
just
we're
played
so
by like
ugly."
like played by such a beautiful like actor, and it's like wow, like how this is not convincing at all. But in this film, it's like it's very funny because even when she's like, oh, they're all a 6 out of 10 at best, like they're all just like
That's
beautiful
fine. Yeah,
people.
so,
It's like
Yeah.
it's like
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah,
They look
I love,
great.
I love how like it reminded me of like the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie where it's like it's clearly like
Yeah.
30-year-olds pretending to be high
Yeah.
schoolers, and it was like kind of the same thing. Yeah, I mean like
Definitely.
I feel like I mean everyone in this film like could more easily pass as teenagers than fucking Tobey Maguire, like obviously. But like yeah, I love how they played into that. I love how like Rachel Sennett and Ao Edebiri, I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly, like are just like known as like the ugly girls. They're like, people don't hate us because we're gay. They hate us because we're gay and ugly and talentless. And I just
And
like I was like
yeah.
that was just like hilarious. I was like, Jesus. So,
Have you guys seen
yeah, like
Have you guys seen Ao Edeburi's dad's letterboxd account?
Yes.
no, I didn't know her.
He-
I didn't
he,
know her
um,
dad had a letterbox account.
Yeah, he rated the bottoms 5 stars and like, this movie is really funny, it's really like heartwarming and emotional and outrageous, and then at the bottom it's like, also Ao is my daughter.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm So
Very
yeah,
funny.
yeah. Hollywood, please give this director, give the two main actresses like 100 million. Give them Avengers money. Give them $100 million to do fucking whatever. Give them their own Oppenheimer, their own Barbie, their own whatever. Just do it. I want to see more.
Do it.
I want to see more movies like this. Yeah. So. mhm.
I'm glad that the high school comedy is back. I thought it would never make its grand return. But
I
it
mean,
did,
it's always
and
been.
I'm-
It never went away. It's always been here. They're just
I
relegated
mean, no,
to
it's just
shitty.
it's kind of lost its prevalence. But
They're
it's
just they're
about
just
time
relegated to
we've got
like
a good one.
yeah. I was just they're just relegated to shitty Netflix movies like Tall Girl and like The Kissing Booth
Do
and shit like that.
Revenge.
Like yeah,
Oh,
Do Revenge. It's like they're relegated to shit like that. Yeah. So
No, but like, when was the
thankfully-
last time we had a film like this since like something like
I mean,
the mid
guess
2000s?
I mean, I guess Booksmart, but I didn't give a shit about Booksmart. I know people did
True.
love the movie, so yeah.
But that's not
That's
as
good. I
outrageous
liked it.
as this.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I'm just imagining the horror right now of like what
Do
Olivia
Revenge is
Wilde-
kind of like one of those high school movies.
Yeah, well, I never watched it.
I thought it was
Yeah.
fine. I didn't get much out of it.
Didn't watch
but
it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Just
nah,
imagine the
it's not great.
horror. Imagine the horror if like Olivia Wilde like directed Bottoms. That would have been fucking cringe. Yeah. So or Elizabeth Banks, because I noticed Elizabeth Banks had like a producer credit on the film. I was like, Jesus, can you imagine like Elizabeth Banks like trying to make a movie like this? That
Oh
would have been
God, we
fucking
don't know.
awful. Yeah. Thank God she made Cocaine Bear instead. So yeah.
True.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, I've said pretty much everything I wanted to say about this film. So, if you guys have anything else you want to talk about, go ahead.
Not much. It's really, really good.
It's so funny. Like, this is legitimately like I think one of the best comedies I think I've seen all year. Like,
Oh,
to
of
me
course.
this was my Barbie. Like, this was what I mean. Barbie was still really good, but like
Yeah, I reckon
this was
Barbie's
more
funnier.
closer. Yeah, this was closer to what I wanted. Like with like a movie like Barbie, I really did like this a lot. So.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I connected to this one
really,
more
really
than
good.
Barbie personally. Like it just kind of fits my kind of vibe a bit more. And I love Barbie, don't get me wrong. I love Barbie, but this film is just like just so enjoyable. There was not a second where I wasn't like entertained or having fun or laughing. Like it was just such a fun ride throughout. And yeah.
Yeah, just really, really, really fun. It's one of the most fun movies of this year. You can just turn it on and have a really great time.
Yeah, it legitimately is one of the most entertaining movies I've seen this year. Like, I honestly really want to see it again. Like, I only saw it like
Yeah.
last night, but I already want to see it again. So
Yeah, I've seen it twice. It's great.
Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah,
Maybe I'll see it again.
mhm. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Well, did we want to give ratings first? 7 out of 10, closer to an 8 than a 6, but 7 I think is a perfectly fine score. Like, really, really enjoyed it. So.
You just said it was like the best and funniest.
Yeah, you said it was the best comedy of this year.
Well, I like still had issues with the film. Like, I made my issues pretty clear. Like,
I mean, so
in the
did I,
discussion,
but I'm
yeah.
giving this an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, a 7 out of 10 is like a good score too. It's like still a good rating, Like, give me a fucking break, Jesus. But no, yeah.
Well, you gave it a 7. Jules gave it an 8. And I gave it a 9.
Nice.
Ton of fun up there. Top of the year. Loved it.
Yeah, so maybe they should have made this an anime. Then I would have given it an 8 or 9 or some shit. Yeah. So, yeah. So, yeah, I'm joking, obviously, but not really. Or am I?
Oh.
You never know. Yeah, so.
Never know.
Oh shit! I just wanted to point out, I fucking whoever's decision it was to make Ao Edibiri's character a filthy fucking weeb. Whoever made that decision, give them a raise.
How'd
give
you
them
forget
a raise.
about that?
I almost did.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting.
When it opened with like a picture of like anime girls, I was like, "What the? Okay, this movie has my attention." I don't know how they found out what I like, but they found out what I like, and they opened it with this shit. So now I'm like 100% invested now. So yeah,
that's why you should have given it an 8. Go on for the anime.
Just for the anime girls, yeah, maybe. So I did say it's closer.
the Attack on Titan reference.
Did they make an Attack on? Did they make an Attack on Titan reference?
Yeah, don't you remember?
Yeah.
You have to remind me. My brain is fried right now.
I'm pretty sure like they're like in the corridors discussing something, and then Ao is like, "Oh, it's like from Attack on Titan or something." Like,
yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. No, now I remember.
She said something about the wall, from what I remember.
Yeah, something about the walls or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a thing in it. It's so frustrating because like this and Ninja Turtles referenced Attack on Titan, but I still haven't seen Attack on Titan. But I know like the general like premise and like story ideas of Attack on Titan. Yeah. Well, I know you will never watch it because it's an anime.
No, I stopped watching it.
Oh, you stopped watching.
I tried watching. I watched the first like part of the first season. And then they had that first big arc end, and I tried watching it for a bit more after that, and I was like, this is really fucking boring.
Okay, so
I just stopped, yeah.
Yeah, I watched like 4 minutes, and I was like, this is really fucking boring, and then I stopped.
Yeah. And it's still going. They're like part 1 of part 2 is airing.
Yeah,
the final season started airing in like 2020.
Yeah, my plan was to just like binge watch the entire season once it's done, but like I don't know how long I'm gonna have to wait for that, considering how often they're releasing seasons and shit. So I hope it's not like because it's like a problem. You know what? I'm gonna stop the conversation right there because then I'll go into a fucking rant and I don't have time for that. So yeah, but either way, I did say this is closer to an 8, so who knows? It might switch to an 8 like at some point in a rewatch, but. I'll keep it at a high 7. So yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, I don't know. Fucking movie, Master and Commander. The Luca's pick. Go talk about it. Let's do it.
Okay.
Ready, set,
this
go.
is the final theme of the randomly assigned actors. It was my turn, and I got Paul Bettany, who plays like the secondary character,
the doctor,
like the doctor. Upon a ship run by Captain Jack Aubrey, played by Russell Crowe, and this is pretty much just like apparently a very like accurate like war
Accurate.
portrayal kind of
Accurate, yeah.
film of a, an English ship that gets attacked by a French ship,
Yeah.
and it's like in the midst of like nautical war of Napoleon's
Achelon or
reign.
Yeah,
And yeah,
the Napoleonic Wars, yeah. So
yeah.
yeah,
And yeah,
I
it's just a very great like little period piece, and came out like I think the exact same year as like the first Pirates, so that was obviously a very like
Yeah.
shippy kind of year.
Oh
and
yeah.
with
This-
films
this
like
was- this-
just with the best fucking set design for ships like I've ever seen in my life. Like goddamn.
This was truly the year for
And yeah.
pirate ship movies. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, so here's the thing, like as a big history nerd, I was really interested in seeing the film because I know it's like a very beloved film for like, history majors and historians because like, like you said, like the film is like praised for being incredibly historically accurate and
Yeah.
and yeah, like in that sense, the film is like a masterful work. Like I highly recommend the History Buffs video about Master and Commander, where he kind of like talks about the historical accuracy of the film and stuff like that. If you're interested, but I love how real the film. Like I was so invested in the film from like a historical perspective that that I was like, wow, like they're really kind of nailing a lot of like the like the little details and stuff like that. Like I love how they talk about like for example like Admiral Horatio Nelson, who was like a huge like English admiral who was like responsible for like keeping Napoleon at bay when it comes to like naval battles and stuff like that. And I love how like the film feels grounded in the sense that like because of this like historical like backdrop that the film has. But if historical accuracy and his like detailed history was all of the things I cared about in a movie, then I would not then I would just watch a documentary. And honestly, this film would probably be more interesting if it was a documentary or at least like a TV series. Because like for like half of this film, I was just so uninvested. I just did not give a single flying fuck about anything that was happening. Like there were so many moments where like the film just expected me to care about something, and I was like, "Who was that again?" Like there was a scene where like they had to like let a guy drown so that the rest of the crew live, and I was like, wait, who was that again? Like who drowned? Like I was so confused. I was like, who the fuck are you? There was like so many moments where it's like the film just expected me to care, but I didn't really, because like the film only develops Russell Crowe and Paul Bettany's characters, who weren't even that interesting of characters to begin with, if I'm being honest. But yeah, like the crew are just kind of like added filler and added extra layers to make the film feel real in terms of a historical sense, which I appreciate it for that. But in terms of like a narrative, like I kind of need more than just, oh, this ship is going after this other ship, and then that's it. Like it's not a very plot heavy film, which it doesn't need to be, but the film kind of needs to give me more than just what they presented, if that makes sense. So
I will say the
yeah.
runtime was the most like draining part about it.
It was
Oh,
so
yeah,
long.
definitely.
It was unnecessarily long. Like it's
It
2.5
could
hours
have
for
been
literally
trimmed.
no reason. Yeah, like cut like 30 minutes out of the film, you literally wouldn't miss anything. Like it's 2.5 hours for literally no reason. So
Mm.
Yeah.
It feels really, really tense though, and I quite appreciated that. It wasn't as
definitely.
because I'd seen this film a long time ago because I like Peter Weir, Australian boy. It wasn't as action packed as I remembered because I first saw it when I was probably around 12, and I hadn't seen it since then. And I was surprised it was more like kind of like a, yeah, like as you said, like really fucking long, like kind of unnecessarily, and was more of like a tension sort of thing. But I did still really like it. Do you know, Luca, that they filmed this in the same like big tank that they built for Titanic?
I did not know that, but that would
Yeah.
make
that's
sense.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the visual effects are fantastic, and like like that
There
whole
aren't any
aspect
visual
about the
effects.
film.
That's
Yeah,
Well,
the
I
film
mostly
looks
yeah,
just
I
great.
mean,
Yeah,
practical.
yeah, a
well,
lot of practical effects that I really
yeah,
appreciated. Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, it's just like a very like set and production heavy movie, but like it looks fantastic. Like that's what I really appreciated. I love like those big models and stuff, and like yeah, like the visuals have like a real charm to them. I didn't expect like this film to actually kind of have like a visual style to it. I thought it was just like it would be like kind of like a bland but kind of interesting historical accuracy, but like no, it does have a flair to it. It does have like a good direction to it, and also it's just like very brutal. Like I didn't expect it to be like very bloody and like violent, I guess. Like
Yeah.
I don't know why like a lot of history things like maybe it's because like they have the intent of showing it to children or whatever, but like
Oh yeah,
a
like
lot of
Dunkirk.
them aren't really, yeah, like a lot of them aren't really like impactful in that regard, but this film like certainly was, and I really appreciated
Yeah, they don't
that.
hold back, which I really
Yeah,
appreciate.
I
Yeah.
really loved like the last like maybe 30 minutes of the film because yeah, it perfectly captures like the uncomfortable like hand to hand like boarding combat or whatever when it comes to these sort of like 18th century like naval combat like sequences and stuff like that. And from that perspective I did love the film. But yeah, it was just like it took forever to literally get to that part. And
Yeah.
like because like in term like because I agree, yeah, like the directing is very stylized. I do like the fact that the film has a personality, but there were some directing choices I was just like so fucking I was like, come on, really? Like because like a lot of like important death scenes, like the music is like fucking swelt, like fucking over exaggerated, just like sad time music, and just like they sometimes do like slow mo, like when the guy like jumps off the ship to like kill himself, like they do the stupid slow mo shot. I was like, dude, come on, really? Like, you don't need to put this shit. Like, come on. So, yeah.
The shot of him like like sinking into the water was kind of funny. Just the kind of the expression on his face.
It was like that scene from like Monty Python, The Holy Grail, where like you see like the bodies like flung into like the pit, like when they get the wrong answers, like at the riddle. It was like that shit. I was like, this isn't supposed to be funny, but it's still kind of funny based on how it's shot, even though it wasn't intentional. Like, come on, dude. Like, Jesus. So,
Yeah. Did you guys like Russell Crowe?
yeah,
Yeah,
I don't.
he's really good. He's great.
Yeah,
great.
he's good in the film. Yeah,
He's awesome.
I'm not like a huge Russell Crowe fan or whatever, but like he did fit the film
I don't
very
think
well.
those people
So.
exist. Is there is there actual like massive like Russell Crowe is my favorite actor?
There's
Well,
probably
it must
some
have
people
been.
out there.
Probably.
It must have been because like this was like at the height of
Probably
his
after
popularity.
Gladiator.
Yeah, because this was at the height of his popularity where he was just in fucking everything. He was in Gladiator, he was in like A Beautiful Mind, and he was in this film, and then all these other like big budget historical epic movies. Like he was in
Robin
fucking everything.
Hood.
Yeah, Robin Hood, whatever Ridley Scott movie that Russell Crowe was in, because he was also in like
Yeah.
American Gangster and all this shit. He was in fucking
The
everything.
Pope's
Like
Exorcist.
Pope's Exorcist. Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember when the last like great
It might
Russell
be his
Crowe
best
film.
performance.
The Nice
like out
Guys.
of what I've seen. Like
Oh,
No,
yeah,
the
Nice
Nice
Guys,
Guys
yeah.
exists.
Yeah, no, I would say
nah.
the night. I would say he
No.
gives a better performance in The Nice Guys than in this film. So, yeah,
The Nice Guys is the greatest film ever.
I love The Nice Guys.
It's
Yeah, I love
unironically my favorite thing Russell Crowe's ever been in.
honestly, unironically, me as well. But it's like. I would not expect Russell Crowe to fit as well in like a Shane Black buddy cop action movie, but he fits that very, very well, surprisingly. So yeah. Mm. Yeah, but honestly, Paul Bettany gave the better performance. If I'm being honest, like I loved a lot of his scenes. Like if we're gonna just mention him, like I love that scene where he accidentally gets shot by that one guy because he was trying to shoot a bird or some shit, which like it was kind of funny. That he got injured for something as stupid as that, and I love like the sort of like scene where he has to like do surgery on himself, and it's like there's no music, and it's just like this really like claustrophobic and intense scene where he's like struggling to get the musket ball like out of his body and shit like that. Like that was intense. I really loved that scene. I wish there was like more things like that in the film, if I'm being honest. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think like in terms of just like the setting and the atmosphere, like it's like a setting and atmosphere that I personally really love and I think is great. But I just think like when like they opened the film like to this battle, like I was really into it. I was really engaged.
That's
I was
awesome.
like, holy shit, like this is actually
They get
really
straight into it.
enthralling and like action packed. And like that like tense environment is like very like great. Yeah, it's just great. But like when you have a lot of like stillness after that for a large portion of the film, like it just kind of takes away from like the overall engagement of it, you know, like
yeah.
you can't have like as sucky as it is, like you can't really have like a war movie like with no battles because then no one's gonna be into it, you know. Like,
Exactly. Yeah. Like the whole like appeal of like a military like a war movie like this is the spectacle. Like it's fucked up to say, but like the spectacle is what people watch for these
and
kinds
maybe
of
that's
movies.
just awful for us to say because that's kind of what our minds have been plagued into thinking. But also like most war movies, even like the most like popular successful war movies, they all have like battle sequences and
like
stuff like
like
that.
Saving Private Ryan like is like a go-to example where it's like the film is like it felt like it was trying to go for something like that where it's like, oh, it's like, yeah, this is a war film and there are like epic battle sequences and shit like that, but the characters are like the heart of it and stuff like that. But the difference between like this and like Saving Private Ryan is like I actually gave a shit about the characters in that film. I actually like was invested enough in their shit where it's like, oh, I actually felt bad when like Vin Diesel and like Giovanni Ribisi and all these other people died. But in this one, it's just like, yeah, I just kept being confused as to who was dying. I was like, who are you again? Like but I didn't bother. Like I didn't. I feel like if I have to resort to Wikipedia to find out who the fuck died and who was who, like I feel like that you didn't really do a good job then at that point of like establishing who the characters are and who is who. You know, like and I get. I'm not saying that every war movie like has to be loaded with like battle scene after battle scene, you know,
not.
like
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
a
no,
movie
that's
like
just bloating.
yeah, like that. No, yeah. In fact, that's not what I wanted from this film either. I'm the film isn't boring because it lacks like action scenes. Like if this whole film was action scenes, I would equally be as bored as that because then it would become some shitty Mel Gibson war film where it's just like people dying like literally every like 10 to 15 minutes. I just wanted something more at stake. I just needed more of a reason to care the whole time. You know, like Inglorious Bastards is like technically a war film, but like the film doesn't have any like big battles, but you still give a shit throughout the entire film because the characters are so well written, they're so interesting. Like this has none of that. Like the characters are fine, they're okay, they're like serviceable. They do the job to have a story. But like I kind of need more than that, you know. Like the film is very good to look at. It is a very technically well made film. It is very historically accurate. But if that was the end all be all of things, then I might as well have just watched a documentary about this, in the end. Like I honestly think a documentary about this era of history would be more interesting than this actual movie, if I'm being honest.
I don't know. I think it still had enough for it that made me like interested and actually really.
I thought it was still
liking
like
it.
very, really, really interesting.
Yeah, it's still like a great movie in my eyes. It's just not like maybe as, I don't know, fantastic as it could have been, especially like with all that's going on like in the production elements of it. Like characters and story, and I guess a bit of pacing wise, that is like its biggest halt. But I still was interested enough in those aspects for it to keep me entertained throughout, and like the acting's good. I didn't there was a level of like cheesiness to it that I kind of liked.
It's kind of like
when
a
I was
Hollywood
watching the
epic.
movie, I honestly didn't think, oh, I'm watching a historical recreation of something. I was like, oh, I'm watching like a movie where these dudes are on boats and like they're all
They're
fucking
fighting,
British, and there's like a cheesiness to it, like, and that's maybe why I enjoyed the film a bit. But like, sure, some of the actors like did feel a bit like, goofy, I guess. The impactful, like, bloody, like, moments still really worked for me. And yeah. And maybe the film wasn't trying to be like a bit cheesy, but the fact that like they just all sounded so unapologetically fucking British, and like the goofy British accents as well, like,
Oh my
made
god,
me
I laughed so
enjoy it a
hard at
bit. Like,
the end.
Captain, we must flee. Their guns are too. They have too many guns, and the ship is much better than I.
yeah.
No, 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 no.
So many goofy
The
like British
funniest,
accents. Yeah.
bit was the bit at the end where they managed to knock down like one of the big masts of the ships, and it's like a wide shot, and you can see the mast falling into the water, and then you can also hear them just going like "Huzzah!"
yeah, like that.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah. Yeah, but honestly, like I that's kind of what I wanted the movie to be. I can't change what the intent of the film, but like I think if it was trying to be this like, oh, like almost like kind of like a documentary type thing where it's like, oh, it's trying to be as realistic and like historically accurate as possible, like I guess in that sense it kind of achieved that goal. But I don't know, like I wanted it to go further than that personally, like because my favorite scenes in the film, honestly, that weren't action scenes were just like them talking at dinner, like when Russell Crowe and like his crew are like drinking wine, and he's telling his stories about how he met fucking Horatio Nelson, and he makes the pun about the weevils and stuff like that. Like those were honestly my favorite parts. Like I wanted more things like that, but the rest of the movie wasn't like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that and those are like some of the examples of like downtime where the film still really worked for me, and I thought the performances were still really good and stuff like that.
It was all just like, it was all excellent, but there was just like a bit too much time with it.
Yeah,
that's the only thing.
Exactly. Yeah, I
like
the
I
film
enjoy
feels bloated.
seeing all
yeah.
these characters and seeing like this fucking amazing ship, but it's just like you're also not really showing me like anything new. Like you're kind of just like leaving me like itching for more, and then just not really giving me anything.
I think like that was my issue, because I was like, this feels like pretty much every other historical epic type war movie as I've ever seen ever, and like I don't know how this, like, other than it being on a ship, I don't know how this stands out from like any other movie like this. Which I guess I guess it's not fair for me to criticize it for that, because like that's like it's not trying to like break the wheel or anything like that. It's not trying to like build something from the ground up. It's just trying to be like a big spectacle, type thing. But I don't know. Like I maybe I sound spoiled when I say this, but I just feel like these kinds of new movies need to offer more for me than just, oh, there's some battle scenes, and then there's some, good performances, and then there's some like ships. Like that's it. Like I just feel like I need more than what this film is offering me. So like, because this is like the same problem I had with like Peter Weir's other war movie. What was it called? Gallipoli. Yeah, that was it. Like that was
Gallipoli.
another film where I was just like, yeah, the battle scenes were good. It's well shot. It has a lot of production value, but I don't really care like what's going on. I have like zero investment in what's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, I really liked the all the detail and like the ship stuff. Like, as a big fan of kind of maritime, like how ships work, especially like kind of older ships and ship sinkings and stuff. So I really appreciated like the bits where they were like using like the buckets and they were using the sails to try and like patch like makeshift holes, or where the holes were. I was like, oh, that's a great detail. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I love how detailed the film is from that sense. Like you could tell they did their research. So
yeah. I think Peter Weir like loves like historical stuff like this. I think that's mostly what he's been doing since he retired. Apparently, he's just been like diving shipwrecks and stuff, which is cool.
Yeah,
as fuck.
I mean, yeah, it's like a fucking uh James Cameron type thing. Like James Cameron likes going underwater, and Peter Weir likes his historical epics. Everyone has their
Yeah,
thing. So mhm.
exactly.
Yeah, so I want to make clear I don't think this is a bad film. I didn't hate the movie, but it was just I was just like I was unfulfilled and unsatisfied with what I was watching pretty much, like because I feel like a lot of other moments were just kind of cheap, like when they like had to amputate that little boy's arm. Like I felt bad
Yeah.
because it was a little boy, but like you didn't do anything to like properly build that. Like I don't know who this boy is. Like I feel bad, that a small child is getting his arm amputated, but like what else, like what about the character? Because like I don't know anything about the character until literally halfway through the film, and that was like a problem I had with like a lot of other movies like this, where it's like like the characters are just there to continue the plot, like that's about it, like. And
Yeah.
I just yeah I don't want to just keep repeating my points, but they are like prominent flaws I had with the film, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Not really much to say about it. I just think I really liked it still. I think it
Yeah.
does definitely have its
I had a
flaws,
fun time.
but yeah, I still had a fun time, and I still thought it like just the technical level of it, like it was still very entertaining to watch, no matter like if the ship was in battle or not. Like there was still aspects to it that were interesting. I personally like the kind of like singing and like music scenes in this film as well.
oh yeah,
Like
the sea
those were very,
shanties.
yeah, the shanties and like when they play music, like it's also used very well. There's like you get some kind of interesting shots with that, and like yeah, it like kind of made the ship feel like a sort of community. Kind of helped you root for them a bit more because like yeah, like there isn't really like a specific goal from the beginning of the film. It's kind of just don't die pretty much, but like
Yeah.
you kind of
That's
have
everyone's
to,
goals. Don't die.
yeah, you kind of just have to grow with the people and like grow with the ship to kind of connect to it, because it's not something that you're instantly clinging onto. And I think that might be a bit of the film's flaw, like especially if you're spending so much time with it, but I still thought it was really good overall. And yeah, I really liked it. I did really like it overall. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. Yeah, and because yeah, the film was nominated for like a bunch of Oscars. It apparently was nominated for like 10 or something like that, which probably would have
Oh
Yeah.
won a bunch of
wow.
them if fucking Return of the King wasn't nominated the exact
Yeah.
same year as this movie. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
true.
yeah, which like on a technical level, yeah, I think this is a very well made, like great movie on that sense. But yeah, I just missed like sort of like the deeper connection type shit, that I missed from the Peter Weirs I actually really love, like Truman Show or Dead Poet Society or whatever. It's just that's the thing that's lacking from this film, and I just needed like I needed something to grab onto, like I need like me being a history buff like has very little relevance when it comes to like me attaching myself to these kinds of movies. Like if anything, like I feel like that makes me a bit more of a harsher critic for these types of films because like yeah, like it's like okay, if you can grip me aside from through like the fancy, historical accuracy and stuff like that, then you've done your job. You did a great job in that sense, but I don't think it like is as emotionally like resonant as it thinks it is, like because like I said, I felt nothing throughout the deaths. I didn't really care what was happening for most of the film, and the parts that I did care were just like in spite of the characters, not because of them, So it's like, but whatever. That's just me. So
Yep.
Hey guys, don't worry. It won the Oscar for best sound editing.
wow,
Because of the
honestly,
cannons.
yeah, that's why it
And
won because
cinematography as well, actually.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah, I would have
Yeah.
thought that like Return of the King
Andrew
won that or
Lesnie's
something.
cinematography was better.
No, everything. I mean, fucking.
It's still good though.
Lord of the Rings won like every single other award for that. So,
Yeah, 11
yeah.
Oscars.
Would Return of the
Yeah.
King not
Pretty
get
low, yeah.
nominated for best cinematography? I thought
did
like because it
not,
won all of
no.
its. That's crazy. Okay.
So they
Yeah.
already won Fellowship of the Ring, already won best cinematography.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
That must have.
they're fine. The Lord of the Rings collectively has enough Oscars. Like
Yeah.
they're
Yeah,
chilling. They're
I must
chilling.
get. I feel so bad for Peter Weir and Sofia Coppola and like the other like big name directors that were nominated that year, only to just watch this like fucking like fantasy movie for nerds like win all the awards and shit like that. I would have been so mad if I.
No wonder he
Yeah.
retired.
Yeah. So yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Apparently they wanted to make sequels to this movie or something. Like apparently like this film is
Apparently there's a
based off
prequel
like a.
being made.
Well, but like that was announced like 2 years ago. Like who the fuck knows if that's still happening, you know? So
Yeah.
but I know like Russell Crowe has mentioned he wanted a sequel to this film, and like I mean it's based on a series of books that has like a number of entries, so they probably could have turned this into like a sort of like a more realistic Pirates of the Caribbean type franchise or some shit. But like the movie didn't make money, you know. It was like it had like what like $150 million budget and only made like slightly above 200 million or some shit. So yeah, it wasn't like a success. So they probably that's why like they didn't get sequels to this. I'm surprised they even threw as much money into this as they did, you know, considering it's like a movie about, you know, old-timey ships and shit, you know? Like I'm kind of shocked, but so
Yeah.
what can you do? Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. I honestly think like while I don't think I would necessarily I would still probably see a sequel to this, but in all honesty, I think this film would work better as a TV show. Like if it was like an 8 episode like HBO style, Rome style like mini series. I honestly kind of would prefer that, you know, because that way they could flesh out the characters more and still kind of like take advantage of those like big battle sequences and shit. But I don't know if you guys agree with me on that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think it could work well too, yeah.
Oh. But yeah, I don't have much else to say. I feel like I'm just gonna keep repeating my thoughts at this
same.
point. Yeah,
That's why I really haven't chimed in a while, because like
Yeah, same. It's a good film though. Like
yeah,
I
it's a
do
good
really
movie.
like it.
If you're a history buff,
In
and
this
you
kind
like,
of era where there was a lot of like kind of we were going into the age of CGI, but there was still some like practical movies being made. A lot of them at sea because of Titanic.
feels-
obviously.
it
it
feels
was the
very
golden
old school.
era.
yeah,
Yeah,
it feels very old school, like in that sense.
because of
like, in
Titanic
terms
and
of,
Gladiator. They kind of combined, and everyone was like, "Oh, people like these kind of sword and sandal movies, or these like disaster
historical
kind
epics.
of ship sinking, yeah, historical epics."
Mhm. Did this come out the same year as Gladiator, or was this after Gladiator? I can't
No,
remember.
Gladiator was 2000. This was 2003.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so around the same time. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. In all honesty, I after this, it kind of made me appreciate the Pirates of the Caribbean movies more, like because I know they're not going for the same thing, but like I was like whatever boredom I had with Dead Man's Chest, that is like nothing in comparison to the boredom I felt with this one. So I mean, not that this film is like a boring slog or some shit, but I was just like, man, maybe I was a bit too harsh on Dead Man's Chest. I'm still not going to change my score. I stand by what I said in that episode, but you know, I maybe I judged it too harshly or some shit. I don't know. So
Wow.
Yeah.
I probably
Wow.
maybe you did.
Yeah, I think you did.
not really.
I think
so
you really did. No, I think you did.
Yeah. Maybe you should watch it again and see.
Yeah.
oh yes. With my already such limited spare time that I have these days, yes, I'll use that time
Yeah, you
to
should make time
rewatch a
for it.
movie. I'll rewatch a movie that I gave a 5 out of 10 for. Yeah. So or whatever score I gave it, I don't remember. So but yeah. Anyway, 6 out of 10. It was a good movie, but probably not something I'll ever rewatch again. So boats.
Yep. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Not Peter Weir's best film, doesn't quite reach the heights of like Dead Poets Society or The Truman Show or Picnic at Hanging Rock, but yeah, still pretty good. Very, very fun. Nice Russell Crowe movie. Nice ship movie.
Yeah, I'm also that too. I'd say like a 7 out of 10. Solid 7. Great stuff. Yeah, not fully there, but also I don't really mind because it was still really good. So yeah, really enjoyed it.
I do hope we talk about another Peter Weir film though at some point. I do want us to talk about either Dead Poet Society or Truman Show at some point. So yeah.
I'll recommend one. Don't you worry.
All right, I'll look forward to that.
I'll recommend the one that I'll recommend the one that everyone that it's one of his highest rated, but like no one knows outside of Australia.
Was it the one thing that you mentioned, the Picket Rock or some shit like that?
Yeah, it'll be that one. Picnic
okay.
Rock.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I want to see more stuff from him. So, yeah, apparently he doesn't give a shit about movies anymore or something. That's why he retired. Or yeah,
That's funny.
yeah. So, but anyway, another day, another dollar. Another one bites the dust. Time for questions.
Wow,
what do we got?
You're bringing the catchphrases out early this time.
Yeah, that's not. You didn't say that till the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think Ninja Jedi would ever stuff up and say "Happy Morbius" before the episode has ended? No.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. So you know, I just wanted to spice up. It's just like a middle-aged adult with their sex life. I just wanted to spice things up. Okay, stop being mad at me. So,
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, question time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Give me some.
Well, maybe it is good you whipped out the catchphrases because kind of forgot about questions.
Yeah, that's why I texted in the self promo chat earlier, just because I was like, you probably forgot, so I'll just do it for you.
Did Luca forget, or did she just like let Timmy do it?
That's pretty sus. It's a I'm on to you. It was pretty sus. Yeah. So.
Well, I did actually think of a question for my own. It's kind of a mean one. It's kind of one that's gonna make you guys at me.
Okay. I already hate this. Yeah.
Okay. So let's say you have one film that you are hyped for the rest of the year, and the rest, theoretically or fictionally, in this scenario, got a writer's strike circa delay to some point next year. What movie are you keeping to watch? Essentially, what is your most hyped out of the countless good stuff we're getting? If everything else had to be delayed, which would you stick with to watch this year?
One that's not coming out this year.
The new Miyazaki film, like easy. That's an easy answer. I'm happy to wait for everything else if I could just see the new Miyazaki this year. Done. Easy.
It's technically not a this year film, but it's probably like my most anticipated, like in the coming future, or not in the coming future, probably for next year. The new Francis Ford Coppola movie, Megalopolis.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Everything else, even the new Jonathan Glazer and the new Scorsese, could be delayed if I could just see that one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Love Coppola.
You see, I don't know what to pick.
Poor Things would.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say.
Is this even a question?
Yeah.
Everything else can be delayed.
About that. Yeah.
But the thing is, like, my Poor Things was going to take so long anyways, you know? So, like, it's like, what if I pick something that I know I'm getting for certain, you know? But this is just a silly little hypothetical anyways. So, yeah, I would, if everything else had to be delayed, I would pick Poor Things as the movie I could watch right now. Or, you know. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. See, that wasn't as hard as you expected to be.
No,
I
thought it would be harder.
Oh, this will irk you guys. No.
I don't know.
I've waited so long to see the new Miyazaki movie. I'm not waiting another second for it to come out. Okay.
Same.
Yeah. So.
This is Francis
All right,
Coppola's
well,
like first movie in so long, and it may be his first good movie in so long. So I'm not nothing's gonna stop me if this is
what
his
if it
best
is
movie
the
since.
middest mid ever?
Yeah, what if it's bad?
Well,
You know,
then
because
you will
it's
never hear the end of it for me. I will be complaining till literally the end of time.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
the episode if we just when we discuss it will be like 4 hours long because it'll just be me complaining.
I mean, I don't know. It
Francis, you
probably
fucking fraud.
you
Francis
fucking
fraud
hack. Yeah.
Coppola.
Yeah,
I
Francis
mean,
Ford
you could.
Coppola, fuck Apocalypse Now. This is just I hate you.
I mean, but you could also it could also be said like the type of film where like pretentious film douchebags and like college students will think it's genius, but like most of the general consensus will be
No,
this is shit type of thing. Could probably be one of those, you know. I don't know. Like,
I don't know. Well, there's no trailer out for it yet, so I don't even know. I have
yeah,
no
it's got
idea
like a
really what it's
fucking
about.
It's got
It's
like
got
a
like the
fucking
most
stack
stacked
cast,
cast.
yeah. Yeah, like
Yeah.
Forrest Whitaker, Adam Driver, Aubrey Plaza, like all these other people, like Jesus, like this is gonna be hella lit.
Jesus is in the
So
film. God damn, you got that
yeah,
guy.
Jesus is in the film. Yeah, didn't you know he resurrected again so that
Oh,
he could
he's
appear
back.
in the he's back, baby. Yeah, he's resurrecting so he could be in the new Francis Ford Coppola film. Yeah.
Hell yeah, Francis,
Mhm.
my boy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we still have two questions from the Lord and Savior of our podcast,
Matthias,
Matthias. Literally the
my
only
boy,
listener.
Our,
our most
our
loyal
player.
listener.
Okay,
Mhm.
We
well,
love
while
you,
we're on
Matthias.
hypotheticals, Matthias asked, how would you describe a hypothetical where your favorite movie is directed by your least favorite
Oh no,
filmmaker?
he said to axe that one because
I mean, we
Well,
can still
we
answer
I'm
because
including
yeah,
it
I know I
yeah.
answered it.
anyways.
I answered it on Nefarious Reels earlier today.
Well,
Then say
then
it.
you
Yeah, then
can
say
shut
your
up,
answer
and then
again.
me
Yeah,
and Timmy
Jesus. Yeah,
will do it.
Okay,
yeah.
well you guys go then.
Yeah, we can go. When my favorite film is made by my least favorite filmmaker. I don't know who my least favorite filmmaker
Yeah, I
is,
don't know
though.
who would be my least favorite like filmmaker. Like Dragon Ball Evolution might be my least favorite movie ever, but I don't think I would consider James who what was his name? James Wong? Yeah, not yeah, that's his name. I would not consider him like my least favorite director or anything, you know? Like
Yeah. Like, I mean, I guess, like, imagine, like, I mean, if we just think of, like, general bad directors, like, if we just try
I know who mine
imagine,
is.
Like Tommy
I know
White,
who
like
mine
if
is.
like let's say like Tommy Wiseau or whatever directed like Eternal Sunshine of the
yeah,
Spotless Mind. Like
It's
like,
what would that look like? Yeah.
that
So
would honestly probably be really fucking hilarious. Like,
yeah,
like the whole concept and movie and performances and everything that makes that movie so special will be ruined, but it will be an interesting train wreck. It will be a very interesting train wreck, honestly. So yeah.
yeah, but is Tommy Wiseau like your least like that's the thing. Like I would never call
No.
Tommy Wiseau
No.
like my least favorite. This is a difficult question in the sense that I have no idea who my least favorite director is. You know, like I.
Yeah, like
I
who's
don't
like
know,
the
but
shittiest dude? Who has just done the most awful things? I guess they're like my technically least favorite director. Like
like if like Paul W.S. Anderson or some shit. Like what if he directed After Sun? You know, like shit like that.
honestly,
Um,
a director that I kind of hate just because it's like memed so much in our circle, but I honestly think it's like one of the most terribly unfunny things ever. Is what's his fucking name? David Ducotto.
oh yeah,
Ducatu.
David Cocktoes.
David
oh, okay,
Ducatu. Yeah.
yeah.
I can't
David
stand the
Cocktoes.
memes around him. Everything he makes looks like literally the most dog shit
I
thing
had
in
to
the
watch one of his
planet.
movies for Nefarious Reels.
I know. Say. So like, yeah, like it's just. Yeah, I like if he had the concept of any of my favorite movies, I think I would just fucking probably steal the concept and then try and make it for myself or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
It could be like that
like-
movie. It'd be like that movie Yesterday, where you're the only person ever who who remembers Eternal Sunshine and no one else, so you have to make it yourself type shit.
Yeah.
So, mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, who would be, like, the worst fucking director ever to, like, make, like, a Clockwork Orange or something. Like, I'm trying to think.
Or mine
Because I
would
could just
be
say easily... I could easily just say Tommy Wiseau, but, like, honestly, I want to see Tommy
Yeah.
Wiseau's version of Clockwork Orange, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Mine would
so,
be do you guys know who Jeff Wadlow is?
He's the guy who
No,
did
but-
fucking Truth or Dare and
Truth or
Kick-Ass
Dare,
2,
Fantasy Island. He did that other lion movie that you watched, Luca, called Prey. That was him.
Wait, did he make
Oh,
that?
the one with no,
he made that.
that. Hold on, I gotta look.
Yeah.
I gotta
No,
look
he
this up. Yeah.
didn't.
He did. If he didn't,
did
then he was at least a
not.
writer on it.
The person that made Prey is a South African guy. Oh, okay, a writer.
Oh yeah, he is a writer on the film. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought he directed it.
Sorry. No, he did.
Yeah,
not
he
do
also-
Yeah, he's just
He also
he is just
wrote the.
awful, just awful.
it.
Every he made that film with what is it? Kevin James, the
Yeah,
true,
True
memoirs of an
Memoirs of-
international
Yeah,
an international assassin. Oh my god, it's
yeah,
just
and
holy shit.
Okay,
Yeah, he
wait.
also
What if we Sorry.
If he made Fellowship of the Ring, it would be the worst thing I'd ever seen. He would just butcher it. Like the scene, I said this in Nefarious Reels, but the scene where the in Balin's tomb where the orcs come through the door, it would probably be they would break the door down, and then it would be like blackness for a few seconds, and then they just jump out of the darkness, and it would be the cheesiest fucking most cringe thing ever.
yeah, if it was like they hired Peter Jackson because he was a horror director to make a fantasy epic, and I could imagine this right now. They get
Well,
some
he kind of
random
was.
bullshit shitty. But yeah, I just imagine they hired some random bullshit like horror movie director. Like if they got like the director of the Bye Bye Man to make like the Lord of the Rings trilogy or some shit, that would be fucking awful, you know? Like
Yeah.
What if we take this concept and swap it around? What if one of our favorite directors made like a really bad film, and how would it
he
turn out,
did.
you
It's
know?
called Fear and Desire. I saw the word. Yeah.
no,
that was, like, as bad
I
as
mean
one
I mean what if like a really good director, like a director that we love,
Oh, okay.
had like a movie that a movie that has a really good concept but it's really bad. What if they made that movie, you know?
Well,
What
then
if
that
we
would be better.
Yeah, but like what would be a good example, you know?
Well,
I
if
don't
we're gonna
know.
if we're gonna go back to, because I surprisingly already have an answer to this.
Probably
would be-
any of M. Night Shyamalan's movies. They have like the good concepts. but-
Honestly, yeah, like any M. Night film after like maybe Signs, like I think if they were in the hands of a different director, they would be less shitty and but at the same and like less like actual. They would actually be good movies, is what I'm saying. Like
fucking
like,
Luca Guadagnino's Old sounds like it would go so hard. Like,
Oh
what the
my
fuck?
God,
honestly,
yeah.
that
Yeah,
would be
like-
epic, yeah,
like-
if Luca Guadagnino made Old, that would be
Yeah,
it would-
like damn.
But the thing is, though, is like Old is like so fucking funny. It's like unintentionally one of the best comedies I saw that year.
Stanley
So,
Kubrick's
like-
Old. Oh my god.
Oh my god, that would be epic. That would be
Now that would
fucking
be like actually
badass.
one of the best films of all time.
no. In all honesty, like yeah, like could you imagine like Sam Raimi or some shit, like or James Wan directing like The Last Airbender? That would have been actually good and not whatever the fuck came
James
out
Wan
like from M
directed
Night.
it.
Yeah, James Wan would be perfect for something like The Last Airbender. Yeah. Yeah, plenty of their like Glass wouldn't be such a fucking piece of shit if it was made by someone who could actually make competent action scenes, you know, like or at least make something that isn't a complete utter waste of time. Like Glass was just in the most insulting piece of shit waste of my time that I was just like, this is what this was built up to. Like this is the epic final conclusion to M. Night's superhero trilogy. Like what a fucking piece of shit. Like Jesus Christ. Like it was like a fucking 13-year-old made the movie. Like that's how mad I am. like I could have made a better version of Glass when I was like fucking 12. Like that's how incompetent the film was. So yeah. So but like so on on that topic, like so originally for Dragon Ball Evolution, apparently like Stephen Chow was like considered as a director for that film, which
Oh,
honestly I
wow.
would have fucking loved that film. Like if they made like a Kung Fu Hustle style movie with Dragon Ball, that would be fucking epic. I want to see that shit, you know? So it probably wouldn't be like great, but it would be a lot more interesting than whatever the fuck we got with Shameless Boy. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Even the Wachowskis would have made a probably better I don't like a lot of their movies, but they would have made a more interesting version of Dragon Ball than like again whatever the fuck James Wong did.
Raka
You know,
Raka.
so yeah, Raka Raka. They're practically doing that because they're making a Street Fighter movie. You know, it's gonna be
Yeah.
epic. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like movies that just have super mid concepts that, or super mid movies that have good concepts that if like just a better director was on it, like they could have achieved it like way better. I'm just
Sure,
trying
there
to
are
think
plenty
of
of them.
like,
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
gonna
there's
look through my
probably like
letterbox. Yeah.
hundreds. Yeah, I'm just scrolling through and like looking at movies where like, oh, that was a cool concept, but it wasn't really a great movie. I'm just trying to have a look, see, and see if
I feel
anything
like you
comes
can make
up.
this argument for like a lot of like superhero movies that come out. Like if they actually gave if they gave like The Flash, for example, to a director that could actually like make a fucking competent movie and actually like have a voice, you know, I'm sure it would have been a fine, decently entertaining movie, you know? Like
Yeah.
that's like the problem with most superhero shit, you know? Like they have
Yeah.
interesting
If
concepts, but then they
P.T.
just don't
Anderson
do
directed a
anything.
Flash movie, it would probably be a good goddamn film.
God.
I mean, apparently he said like if he had to make a movie for his kids, he would make a Teen Titans movie. Like I want to see that shit, you know.
Oh,
So
fuck yeah.
yeah, so
God, he's the coolest fucking guy. I love him.
he truly is the dick. Like I think his decision to leave film school because a professor talks shit about Terminator 2, I think is the most like base thing you could possibly do ever. So
He is literally me. There has never been a director who is more me.
Yeah, honestly, like the idea of like objective greatest filmmaker gets thrown up a lot. But if I honestly, if I had to choose one, I would say PTA.
Yeah.
Like if there was like a director's like Mount Rushmore, like PTA would be up there.
to the two
Can we
Anders,
put?
the
Can we
three
make that our next question? What? Just.
Do you want to just do that now? Like we've
Yeah.
got
What is
time,
your
I
director?
think.
Well, how many? How many people? Timmy, how many people are on Mount Rushmore? I feel like you would
To
know.
four?
You dumbass.
Yeah, four.
Four?
Yeah, you don't have to be an American to know that. Yeah, so
I don't know, bro. I'm not looking up like statues of like whatever old fart was on there. Fuck, it would be like 4.
I mean, if we all chose a 4, then like there's not really a challenge to it. Like if we want to do this as a question, like
well-
we have to
okay. Well,
objectively.
let's like
we have
let's
to-
like
hang on,
let's collectively agree on 4 directors. How about that? Let's do that.
Okay. That's gonna be tricky though.
Well,
you know?
let's
like...
see. Let's get Stanley Kubrick
Well, how
out of the
is
way,
it
'cause we
like
all
the
agree that
greatest
Stanley
films of all time, or is it like
No, just
the-
filmmakers.
like, is it-
just like
filmmakers?
the,
Okay,
who
then
we consider to
Kubrick.
be the best director. Yeah, Kubrick. We all agree Kubrick should be on that list. Let's just get that out of the
Kubrick.
way. So,
Tarkovsky?
I haven't seen any of his films, but I 100% agree. So let's put
Bergman?
Tarkovsky. Yeah. Okay,
I
maybe
would
this
I
wasn't
would
as
I would
difficult.
put PTA up there, honestly.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess PTA would be a
I don't
pretty
care
good
if he's
choice.
like more of a modern filmmaker. I would. There.
Yeah, no, I put
like
he
yeah.
he could be in there. If
definitely.
we expanded it.
And then
Can we
Luca
expand Mount
Guadagnino,
Rushmore?
obviously.
No Wes Anderson?
What? Who did Rushmore? Wes Anderson.
Yeah, Wes Anderson. Yeah.
Oh,
So-
true. Oh, he made Mount Rushmore.
Uh huh.
Yes, he made the
True.
entire monument himself. Yes, exactly. So,
In terms of like my favorites, it would probably be Tarkovsky, Bergman, Kubrick, and then probably Coppola. But in
I
terms
think
of like,
they'd all have to be like kind of classics. Like,
but like the Mount Rushmore is about like people who or presidents who've made like the biggest contributions, right? That's
I
the
mean,
thing.
in concept, yeah, but I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I would argue
So
some of them shouldn't be
in
on there, but whatever.
so if
So
we were doing filmmakers, I'd probably say like Kubrick, D.W. Griffiths. I don't know
why
who
would you put
else,
Why would you put D.W. Griffith in there?
because he invented pretty much like the epic, and
yeah.
he's basically
Yeah,
he's basically the father of film. Like no matter what
but
you
I
think
also
about him, like
yeah, but like
I don't
but
like him either.
but
Like as
yeah,
much
but
as I
like we
love
shouldn't.
Intolerance.
I mean, but like by that logic, then like why aren't we putting like someone say like Thomas
Actually, no, I
Edison,
like.
like on the Mount Rushmore then, because he's the one who
No.
helped create the camera and shit like that. It's just like all these like technical things like we could like talk about all day, but it's like that then
Yeah,
I'm thinking of like
but
more
he made
creative
Intolerance
voice.
though, and A Corner in Wheat, which are great.
Okay, well I haven't seen those, but I'll take your word for it. So
Yeah.
no.
I'm trying to think of directors who've had like the biggest impact like on the cinema, which shouldn't be like hard.
Scorsese would probably be up there.
Scorsese, yeah. I would
Yeah.
honestly like pick someone like Charlie Chaplin. Like that would also be like
Yeah.
a pretty good pick for like
actually,
a
that's right.
Rusher, yeah.
Probably, yeah. So Kubrick, Scorsese, Chaplin, and Griffiths.
Tommy
Yeah,
Wiseau. No,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
Tommy, just like Tommy Wiseau's face at the end.
Okay, now if we had to make a personal one.
Okay, well then it would be, Kubrick, Scorsese, Tarkovsky, and probably Bergman.
Okay.
Actually, no, maybe fuck Bergman. I'll just put Guadagnino in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's tricky for me. Like, I guess it would just be my 4 favorite directors, but I haven't really thought of
Yeah,
like...
that was
So it would just be like Wes Anderson, Luca Guadagnino,
Yorgos,
and then
PTA, I would say, is up there.
yeah,
for me.
PTA, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if
like
I would
that...
put Wes Anderson and Yorgos in there. As much as I absolutely am in love with their films, like, I'm also kind of trying to think of it of like... I'm also trying to kind of think of it as like, big change, like monumental kind of people, but...
Yeah, that's why like I feel like I can't really answer that question because I would have to have to think about directors who I actually really, really love and connect with, but then I also have to think about their importance within film culture. Like I would love to put say Satoshi Kon on this like pedestal, but like the guy only made 4 movies and he hasn't had a long extensive career as someone like say like Alfred Hitchcock or some shit, So like
maybe I'd put Hitchcock on there. I don't know. I love Hitchcock, but yeah.
Oh, I would put Kiarostami up there. Yeah.
Oh, so, yeah. He absolutely.
Yeah. So Kiarostami, Guadagnino, Paul Thomas Anderson, and then maybe Guillermo, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe just Wes Anderson.
What about
I'm not
Charlotte
sure.
Wells?
I mean, yeah, like personally that would go up there, but I'm still trying to think of like the, objectification and like impact and change and personal feelings. I'm trying to all put them into one thing. Like I love Wes Anderson. I think he is up there as one of my favorites, but like did he like really change filmmaking? Not really.
Yeah. But like that's how I feel about like Peter Jackson sometimes. I have like a conflicted relationship with that guy because on the one hand he did literally make my favorite film of all time and my favorite trilogy, and like he's made like other great films like Heavenly Creatures, Brain Dead, and like Forgotten Silver.
Yeah,
but then
Brain Dead,
also
Dead Alive,
he's kind of made some crap as well. And
I'm not like.
And I just whenever I think of him, I just don't think of him as like one of my favorites, despite the fact he made my favorite film, and
yeah,
probably what I consider one of the most well directed films of all time.
And if we're also going to talk about like importance, then like I feel like no matter what, like someone like say like Steven Spielberg should be on this list. Like regardless of how we feel about like all of his movies, like you have to
Oh
say the
yeah.
guy is like a very consistent filmmaker who consistently creates like decent quality movies. Like whether or not you think he's like an overrated hack or some shit, you know, like Spielberg has like earned his place in film history, you know. So I wouldn't be upset if like someone like Spielberg got on that list, but I don't know. Like
Yeah.
does Park Chan-wook count as like a director who made
I
big
mean,
monumental change, you
yeah,
know? Like
it
I don't
depends
know,
for
you know.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean for me I love his movies and I connect with his movies a lot, but is he this
Oh
like
wait, I know,
the
I know, I know.
Spielberg, you know?
Golf Verbinski.
Yes. Yes.
Just
Yes.
just for Rango alone, yes, I would agree.
Oh wait,
yeah,
shit.
Rango...
I would do Alfonso Cuarón actually.
Oh
Maybe.
yeah. So no Alejandro G. Iñárritu?
No, I think I like Cuarón way more. I think he.
Is he your favorite of the Amigos?
I mm, I love all of them, you know.
Yeah.
But if I think of like who has made like consistently movies that connect with me and that are my favorites, like probably Alfonso
Like if
Cuarón.
all three of those directors released a film like on the same year, which one would
Which
be
they
the
did.
first one you'd go see?
Which they did.
Yeah. Did they? When was the last time they did
Yeah.
that?
Children of Men, Pan's Labyrinth, and Babel all came out in the same year.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
guess if you had to pick between those movies, then yeah, like which would be the... I guess that's not even a fair question to
That's
ask.
not a
And
fair
all
question,
within
'cause,
all within
like-
5 years, all three of them won Best Director.
Yeah, so like let's say like okay, let's say they Y Tu Mama Tambien, Pan's Labyrinth, and then like Birdman or something like released on the same day. Like which one would you go see first? That I think that's a more fair
Birdman.
comparison.
No, I don't think that's a fair. I think a fair comparison is like looking at the director, and if they were releasing a completely new movie that I knew nothing about, I would say Alfonso Cuarón. But
Okay.
I would
if
say
it was a
Iñárritu.
movie that
Iñárritu's
if
my
I knew
favorite.
if I knew what the movie and a bit
All three of
about
them are
it,
great though.
but yeah,
All three of them are very
phenomenal.
talented. Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah, Iñárritu is the one I like the most though.
Mhm. I would say out of all of them, because I like all their movies, but if I had to pick one, like out of which one I would see first, I'd be more inclined to see Guillermo than like anyone else's. So,
Yeah,
but that's just
yeah.
me, yeah. But like, regardless of quality, because I think I would say like Iñárritu, I would say makes the better films compared to the two, but I would be more inclined to see something from like you could that's like up for debate, but like for me personally,
Yeah.
but I would sooner
Beautiful
rewatch
is
like
Beautiful
also,
and
like-
Bardo were a bit.
yeah, I guess that's fair, yeah, but
But
I would
also like
sooner
we're comparing like three directors that literally
Three
have
directors
all
who are
different
amazing.
styles.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and they're
that
all
couldn't be
amazing.
that couldn't be more different from each other. Like the only thing that
All
that,
three of them are
that
like
links them
the
to-
best. Some of the best directors were currently working.
Yeah.
all three of them are from Mexico and they're friends. That is the only thing they have in common. They couldn't be
Yeah,
more
and
different from
they're
each
best
other.
buds.
Yeah, they're best amigos. Yeah. So. Mhm. Yeah. So. Anyway, I think we should wrap up because I gotta head out in a bit to start work. So
Okay,
I'm
and
happy to
save
do
that other
the.
question for next time.
Well,
then.
if we're if we want to answer the next question quickly, then I'm happy to do that. But it would have to be pretty quick
Nah,
response.
let's just wrap up. We talked about a bunch of
Let's wrap.
other questions within that question, so yeah, we got this section covered.
Okay. Yeah. So well. Anyway,
Alright.
yeah. Back to me, I guess. It's my turn. We can finally
Oh,
talk
what?
about
Isn't it mine?
good movie. What? No, yeah, it's my turn.
No, it's not yours.
What? Oh, for God's sake!
Yeah.
All right.
We
Well,
moved
when you're
away from
ready.
us switching places with Indiana Jones a long time ago. Keep up, man. Jesus. Yeah,
I thought
You
it went back to
literally-
normal at some point, though.
it did when I
did.
recommended. Yeah,
Huh?
when I recommended fucking Super, and then you recommended your movie. Fuck, what was it? Son of
yeah.
Rambo, and then Luca did this. Like, come on, man, keep up.
Oh, I've always gone by like the I was first because I recommended The Castle that one time.
Yeah, we're still it's still that order because remember it was you and then Luca and then me. Like it's the same.
Yeah,
The
it's
order has not
still
changed. It's
order.
still the same. Yeah, it's still the same.
Oh,
Nothing has changed. Yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah.
are you
Well,
okay?
what's your pick?
Do you need to get your do you need to go to the hospital or something? Like do
I'm just a
you
bit
need to get a
confused
checkup?
sometimes. I
Yeah.
forget. I forgot.
Yeah.
All right, what are we
So
watching though?
okay. Well, Luca, do you want to explain the theme for this month
Oh
or
yeah.
should I do
Well,
it?
it's
Yeah.
pretty self-explanatory. Just Halloween vibes. We're going into October, so doesn't specifically have to be a horror movie, but you know, anything if you believe that it counts, it fits the horror subgenre, or just it is if you see it as a scary movie, you know, just yeah, trying to get that spooky vibes out. So we are doing that again. Our first time returning to a theme, so that means like it's been a year since we did the other ones. Oh my god.
Yeah. This is a
Wow,
repeat that I'm
this time
that I
last year, goddamn.
yeah, I can't believe it's been a year. Like Jesus, what have we done since
Well, it's
then?
been well
So,
over a
yeah.
year, but yeah.
Yeah. I guess happy late anniversary. So, but yeah, I always look forward to these Halloween ones because we get to talk about horror movies for 3 episodes.
Always look
So
forward, like it's happened like
well now
multiple
now I
times.
get now I can say that because like unless like one of us dies or something or leaves, we'll be doing the Halloween thing pretty much every Halloween, right? Like it's gonna be a fun
Yeah.
tradition. Yeah.
True.
So
True.
yeah, but. So anyway, yeah, you know what? I feel like we haven't done an anime in a while, and I really want us to talk about another horror anime. Yeah, I know you guys sound so thrilled right now. So, but this one is kind of different. This is a very different movie from Perfect Blue, which I recommended last year. So, and
I swear
who
to God,
knows?
if you say Akira, it doesn't count.
No, it's not Akira. What? Why would I pick Akira? That would be like how is that a horror movie? I mean, the last like 20 minutes is a horror movie, but like I wouldn't
Yeah.
consider that a
I thought
horror
you were
movie.
about to
Yeah.
try justify that. I was like, I
No,
was not gonna have it.
I can't even pull that shit out of my ass. Max, don't worry. We will talk about Akira at some point, but not today. Anyway, I'm recommending a film from 1973 called Belladonna of Sadness. I have never seen this film before. Have you seen it, Jules?
I remember this being talked about for film club, like
Yeah,
way
and
back in the day. Do
and
you
I
remember
never
that,
got
Luca?
No.
Yeah, this was a recommendation in film club like years ago. Yeah, and I never got around to seeing it. But
Years
I
ago,
finally...
last year.
Was it last year? I thought it was like 2 years ago, wasn't it? Or has
How do
the
you-
film club?
2022 is when we formed, January
Oh,
2022.
okay. Yeah, all right, so it has been a year. Well, anyway, yeah, I never got around to seeing this, so I feel like this would be a great opportunity to finally watch the film and then, make you guys watch more anime. So, yeah, I don't know anything about the film other than it's like a psychedelic, like weird, scary acid trip type movie. That's the only thing I know about it, and I'm looking forward to hear what you guys think about it. So, apparently this is like a third film of a trilogy, but we don't need to see the other two because it's not like a connected story or anything. So we'll just watch Belladonna of Sadness just by itself. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, if you don't want to be spoiled for Belladonna of Sadness, 1973, directed by Ichi Yamamoto, and I hope I said that correctly. Watch it because we're gonna spoil it for next episode. Yeah, that's it, I guess. So, can't wait to talk about another anime. It's been far too long. So, yeah.
It hasn't been that long. It wasn't that long since we did Paprika.
Paprika was like ancient history. Like, when was the last time we talked about that? Like
6
month episodes ago? Yeah, that's like a month or two ago.
That's
like it's been
2
far
episodes.
too long. So yeah. No, but anyway, thank you everyone. Bye. Goodbye.
Bye.